The Subtle Side was originally written in 1985 by Tupelo Kenyon and published as a book and tape set. Tupelo's father, Wayne Kenyon, was the original voice of The Subtle Side. The second edition came in 1997 and the third in 2008. For this new multimedia edition, you'll be hearing from both Wayne and Tupelo. Here's Tupelo with a brief introduction to The Subtle Side.
The information in this program will provide you with some necessary tools to help you enjoy more freedom, independence, and abundance in all areas of your life. There are two sides to any business. The obvious side includes your particular style of shuffling papers or rearranging things in such a way that an income is created. The subtle side of your business, covered here, is not as obvious at first, but I believe infinitely important. My objective in making this program available is to share ideas that have been most helpful and inspiring in my experience. Beyond that, my hope is that you will be inspired on purpose and moved to act on what you discover. These ideas have made a profound difference in the quality of life of many people, including myself. I sincerely hope they make a difference in your life too. If you find yourself raising your eyebrows here and there, just remember the importance of considering new ideas with an open mind. The human mind is like a parachute. It works much better when it's open. And now, I am thrilled and honored to introduce my dad, Wayne Kenyon.
The Subtle Side. One of life's greatest pleasures is sharing. Giving of yourself, your time, your money. To help others the most, first we should help ourselves. It's useless for the blind to lead the blind. In order to be of useful service to others, we must first be the best we can be and do the best we can do. The principles that I'm going to touch upon here can be applied to anything you want to accomplish. The desire to get rich is the accomplishment we will focus on.
The laws of nature apply to us all.
First, we must firmly believe that it is possible to make as much money as we would like to make.
However much that is to you, we're going to call it getting rich throughout this course.
It does not take any special gift of talent to get rich. There are very talented people who are poor and rich people with little or no natural talent. Whatever talent or skill is needed can be learned en route.
This course will deal with some mental mechanics, some basic laws of nature, and how they relate to the desire to be rich.
Anyone who can read, write, and understand simple ideas can get rich in business if he puts into practice what he learns. If anyone in your town can succeed, so can you. If anyone in the country can get rich, so can you. If it can be done, you can do it. Everyone is born with the same amount of potential power and ability to understand and use the laws of nature to his benefit. The only difference is that some people realize they have that power and potential. Others do not.
There's plenty to go around.
We must understand and believe the fact that there is an abundance in nature. There's plenty to go around. The visible part of nature is practically endless and inexhaustible. The invisible side of nature really is endless and inexhaustible.
Every visible detail originally came from this invisible side of nature. It is called many different names in different cultures and different centuries. Pick any name you are comfortable with. Just be careful not to get so hung up on your particular name for it that you miss the magnificence and grandeur the name is referring to. For the sake of simplicity, we will call it the life force.
Nature is not poor. If a man is poor, it is because he has not yet learned how to help himself to nature's bounty, which is his to enjoy as long as he obeys nature's laws. As long as we play by the rules, there's no reason to deprive ourselves, and no way of keeping us from enjoying the riches nature is happy to provide.
Nature provides a waterfall of abundance that is never ending. We can go to the waterfall with a thimble, or a barrel, or a tanker train. The waterfall itself doesn't care how much or how little we take. The abundance will keep flowing, and it's completely up to each of us as to how much we can hold. The limitation is not the waterfall, but the vessel that we take to the waterfall. The principles of the subtle side will show you how to take any size vessel you choose to the waterfall, and then, about the time when you think your vessel is full, you will realize that the waterfall of abundance is inside of you and inexhaustible.
It's ridiculous to think it is wrong or sinful to want more out of life. Here's why. All of life is constantly growing and expanding. This very same urge in man is translated into the desire to experience more, do more, give more, be more, have more, and share more. This is simply the natural progression and expansion of all life as experienced by one person at a time. Every living thing in nature is moving. Life does not stand still. Everything is either growing or dying, expanding or contracting, becoming more or becoming less. Our lives become either richer or poorer.
The basic urge of all life.
A small acorn sprouts and becomes a tiny twig with a few leaves, which becomes a mighty oak tree. It produces thousands of acorns, which also become mighty oak trees, and so on. Your desire to become rich, to experience more, is the same basic urge that makes the tree grow. It's life itself, or the life force within you, expanding and seeking fulfillment.
Thoughts mold matter.
We have the power and ability to form the life force by the thoughts we think. Any thought pressed upon the life force creates form here on nature's visible side. It is true that things are created by our hands, but first, before anything can be given form, it must be conceived in thought. The thought of the thing is the first cause. Here's a clear example. If you take a key or a coin and press firmly into a lump of clay, you get a perfect pattern of that key or coin. If you were to pour plaster or bronze into the mold, you would get an identical copy of the original. It works the same way when we hold a clear enough picture in our minds. It makes a mold which is filled with life force and is returned to us exactly like we imagined it.
What you get is determined directly by what you think. This basic law of nature is absolutely impersonal. It always works using the thoughts you put into it. If you press a coin into the clay and fill the mold with plaster or bronze, you are not surprised when you really do produce a coin. You are not expecting a key or a ring.
Likewise, if you're always dwelling on how poor you are or how tough it is, why should you be surprised to see these exact conditions manifesting around you?
Cause and effect.
You get out of life exactly what you put into it. This principle is also described in many different ways. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
When a farmer plants wheat, he is not surprised when he harvests his wheat crop later in the season. He was not expecting corn or cotton. He planted wheat.
Sir Isaac Newton described it as one of the basic fundamental laws of physics. For every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Some call it karma. In simple language, it's the law of cause and effect. We as thinking creatures have the power to choose whether we will be cause or effect. When we are effect, we can't seem to get anything going our way. You've seen people in this situation. No matter what, things are always happening to them, and they just can't quite find a handle to their life. Instead of constructive activity toward a specific goal, they usually just wait and see what happens.
If life force is flowing to you from outside, if life is just something that happens to you, you are not being creative. Instead, you are simply being an effect of external conditions. When we focus our thoughts and attention on what we want to experience in our lives, our outflow is creative. We are the cause, not the effect. We choose the circumstances of our lives according to the thoughts we choose to think.
So it's incredibly important to monitor our thoughts and dwell upon only what we would like to create. It doesn't make any sense to dwell upon what we would like to avoid. Don't dwell on being broke. That's like pressing a key into the clay and expecting a coin.
The law of attraction.
Whatever you think about attracts more similar thoughts. As you focus on your dreams, more and more thoughts are attracted that will support and strengthen your vision. This momentum of thought will attract to you the object of your desire. Likewise, if you aren't paying attention and let your mind wander about all the reasons it won't work, more and more similar thoughts are attracted until you are buried in an avalanche of doubt. A fleeting negative thought won't cause much of a problem for you unless you dwell upon it and let that thought grow into 2, which grows into 4, which grows into 8, and so on. Let this natural, exponential growth of thought work in your favor, rather than against you, by gently guiding your attention back to your dream whenever you notice a negative thought rear its ugly head. To make your biggest dreams come true, you really can't afford the luxury of indulging in negative thoughts.
Receiving communications from the life force.
Negative emotion is a clear indication that you are moving away from your dream rather than toward it. If you are doing a good job of focusing your attention on your dream, the law of attraction brings more and more thoughts that support your process of manifesting your dream. You're on track, and it makes you feel good. If you notice that you feel bad and you can't figure out why, examine your predominant thoughts and feelings about your dream. You will probably find that you have slipped into the area of doubt, and the law of attraction has added more and more thoughts that support your doubtful thinking. The negative emotion you feel is a gentle nudge from the life force, alerting you to the fact that the law of attraction is working against you in that particular moment, and that your thoughts are pushing away your dream rather than attracting it. Don't make the mistake of focusing on the negative emotion itself, because the law of attraction will add more of the same until you feel horrible. To get back on track, all you have to do is immediately turn your attention to your dream, and the law of attraction will again help the positive thoughts grow and your negative emotion will disappear.
Be aware of how you feel.
When you feel good, you are creating well, and your thoughts are in line with what you want. When you feel bad, you are still creating, but you are not creating what you want. Your negative emotions are alerting you to the fact that there is something important that you want, but right now, your present thoughts are moving you away from it instead of toward it. You can trust these feelings. They don't lie. Paying attention to the way you feel is easier than monitoring your thoughts. Thoughts are fast, fleeting, and countless. This makes it hard to constantly be on the lookout for a negative trend of thought. Instead, just notice how you feel. There are only 2 basic emotions, although they are called by dozens of different names. You either feel good or you feel bad. When you notice you are feeling bad, it's a clear indication that your thoughts have changed direction without you noticing, and they are now taking you away from what you most desire.
Reaffirm your dreams regularly.
In this era of information overload, it's important to revisit our dreams and intentions often to keep on track. The media especially, and other people, even the well-intentioned ones, are a constant source of negativity that can work against you if you let them. Take a few moments every day to enjoy your dream in your mind's eye. Your mental arena is private property and is off limits to anything and anyone who might try to pollute the clarity of your thought with their negativity. Just be alone with your thoughts and dreams and enjoy the emotions and gratitude in advance that will accompany the fulfillment of your dreams. You can call it your special dream time, quiet time, prayer time, meditation time, contemplation time, or whatever else you want to call it. The important thing is to do it regularly and make it an important part of your life. When you realize the importance of this daily alone time and experience how good it makes you feel, it's easy to make it a priority. These are the seed moments from which you grow the rest of your life.
Our teamwork with the universe.
The life force flows through us, and we are distributors for it. We must accept this as our responsibility to life and make the best of it. We must do our part in the creative scheme of things and not expect the life force to do for us what it can only do through us. We hold the key by choosing the thoughts we think. No matter what our outward conditions are like, we must concentrate on the conditions we would like to create. When our attention is creative and positive, we are being cause, and we are creating future outward conditions that we choose. If our outward conditions are of poverty and we focus on thoughts of it, we will create more of the same for the future.
Clarity is the key.
In order to make an impression on the life force, in order to make a mold in the lump of clay, we must clearly define what we want to create. The whole key to this technique is in the word clearly. That's why goals are so important. Not just generalized someday goals, but specific, detailed goals spelled out crystal clear with an exact date specified when these goals are to be accomplished. Write them down. If you have not done this yet, consider how much it could help you reach your dreams, and take 5 minutes to do it right now.
Specifics work.
You must know exactly what you want and be able to communicate it clearly to the life force. Only then can it possibly come back to you in nature's visible side. If you were going to write a letter to a friend, you wouldn't just write down the alphabet a few times, add some dots and dashes, and maybe a few question marks. You couldn't expect him to rearrange the letters and make sense out of it, and know that you wanted him to pick you up at the airport. You would probably still be there, and he never gave your message a second thought. Likewise, you must visualize your goals, as well as write them down, if you expect the message to get through. Go ahead and write them down here and now.
A flight of fancy to focus your dreams.
Here's a simple exercise to help you focus on what is really most important to you. Imagine that you suddenly were presented with $1 million to do with exactly as you please. Or present yourself with 100 million, if that's what it takes to jumpstart your imagination. What would you do with your time tomorrow? What would you do next week? Next month? Who would you like to be with? Where would you go? What would you buy? Exactly how would you choose to spend your days? Grab a sheet of paper and write down whatever comes to mind. Don't judge it, and don't put any limits on yourself. Just write down what you would do if money were no object. Give your mind and your dreams free rein to go wherever they will, and just enjoy the ride. This little flight of fancy can be an important journey of self-discovery. This exercise in unbridled visualization is a good first step in experiencing your dreams in the visible side of nature too. Remember that all things must begin first in thought.
Enlist the help of all your senses.
Visualization is more than seeing with the eyes. Besides the clear mental image, it also includes feeling and expectation and a total inner experiencing of what you are imagining. Every thought you think is creative, but the thoughts accompanied by strong emotions create the quickest. So, when you are visualizing your dream, see it clearly, smell it, hear it, feel it, taste it, and especially imagine clearly how it will make you feel when you accomplish your goal.
If your dream and goal is to someday have a house in the tropics, proceed to graphically explore the details in your mind's eye. Feel the warm ocean breeze blow through your hair. Hear it blow through the palm trees in your front yard. Hear the waves hit the beach. Taste the subtle, salty air, and smell the bouquet of flowers that fills the air. Walk up the steps in your mind's eye and take a tour of your dream house, room by room. Look out the picture window. What do you see? Run your hand across the fine wood cabinets in the kitchen. How does it feel? Open the window in the bedroom. What do you hear outside? Fill in the blanks. You get the picture. You can't overdo it here. Really enjoy this visualization. Let yourself go. Have fun and believe it's on its way to you on nature's visible side too. Go ahead and feel sincere gratitude for it. Feel the gratitude in the same way as if you just got the key to the front door. You did.
The attitude of gratitude.
Gratitude ties us closer to the life force. It keeps the lines of communication open and makes us receptive to what we have created in thought.
It is an outpouring of love, appreciation, and thankfulness. In your imagination, feel gratitude for your dream even before it manifests. Be grateful for it, as if it has already manifested.
Your gratitude is not presumptuous. It is more of an attitude of ownership that you are assuming. It is even stronger than faith. It is more like certainty. Know it. Know that it is your house.
Make your creative visualizations a regular habit.
Review your goals and dreams regularly by visualization. Use your leisure time to take another tour of your house.
How does it feel to be in your house, enjoying the sights and smells? How does it make you feel to accomplish such a satisfying goal? What does it do for your confidence and self-image?
Be sure to enjoy this constructive, directed attention. Remember that you are being cause now, not effect.
You are building your own personal dream catcher.
Mental laziness won't get the job done. Your dreams and desires must be stronger than the tendency to be a mental sloth.
Reach out and grab your dreams with the firm grip of your focused visualizations and have a nice ride in your imagination.
Don't sabotage your dreams.
When you set a creation in motion by your thoughts, all sorts of unforeseen events begin to line up in such a way as to bring you the object of your desires. Be careful not to work against yourself by entertaining doubt. For instance, if you focus on your tropical dream home, but follow that with practical thoughts about how much it costs and where the money could possibly come from, you are sending the life force mixed signals. In effect, the life force is hearing from you, I want it, I don't want it, I deserve it, I don't deserve it, I can have it, I can't have it. One idea cancels out the other and nothing happens. Whenever you notice your mind slipping into old patterns of doubt and negative thinking, gently steer it back to your dream. Your job is to hold a clear picture with feeling. Let the universe figure out the how. It has considerably more resources to work with than you do.
Allow your dreams to come to you.
Your dreams are on their way as long as you allow them. You allow them by your beliefs. Beliefs are simply the thoughts you are in the habit of thinking. Not all beliefs are right or based on facts. Look at history for a staggering collection of examples.
Beliefs need not be set in stone.
We believed the earth was flat. We believed the heavens circled around the earth. At one time, we even believed bathing was unhealthy and eating tomatoes would kill us. If your belief system has you convinced that you are not worthy of reaching your dreams or that financial independence could never happen to you, it's time to re-examine your beliefs. These thoughts are merely habits. They are not based on fact. But if you insist upon focusing your attention on limiting thoughts that are a part of your belief system, these habits of thought will be truth in your experience. You can change your beliefs simply by adding new thoughts to them. Beliefs can change easily as understanding grows. Just because you once had a belief does not mean that you must have it forever. If it no longer serves you, change it. Once you set your dreams in motion by focusing your thoughts and attention upon them, the next step is to allow them to come to you. You do that by simply not working against yourself with conflicting thoughts. The formula is: decide what you want. Visualize it clearly with feeling. Allow it to come to you with gratitude. And enjoy what you have created. Repeat.
Mental imagery sharpens with practice.
Visualization is a skill that can be learned. If it feels awkward to you at first, just realize that you can already visualize a little. All you have to do is visualize a little more each day and continue to develop what you already know how to do. It's like looking forward to something with great expectation and excitement. It's like seeing your best friend, your child, or your spouse after being away for a long time. As you approach the airport, you see their face, see their smile, hear their voice, feel their embrace. All this is very clear in your mind. It's the only thing in your mind because it is important to you. It is more than physical seeing. It involves strong feeling and excitement too. When you are visualizing productively, there's no tension, no doubt. It's a positive outflow of life force, and it's not necessary to work at it.
It's your birthright.
What is effective creative visualization?
Creative visualization is focused attention, deliberately steered in a specific direction by conscious choice. This point is important, so take a moment to let it really sink in. Here's the same idea expressed a little differently. Successful creative visualization is accomplished by making a conscious decision about what you dwell upon in the private recesses of your mind. It's a promise that you make to yourself about attracting what is really important to you by thinking about what you want, rather than thinking about what you do not want. You are not being driven, rather you are being pulled toward that which you desire. At the same time, your dreams are being pulled toward you.
It's easy, and the more you do it, the easier it gets.
There's no such thing as the law of repulsion.
This principle is called the law of attraction, and is precisely the reason why you don't want to dwell upon that which you choose to avoid. You are a powerful magnet, and the universe delights in delivering to you whatever you envision. But the life force is completely non-judgmental about the appropriateness of your mental creations. That's your job. You make the mold in the lump of clay with your creative visualization, and the universe delivers back to you a perfect image, good, bad, or indifferent.
Notice what you don't want, briefly, then focus on what you do want.
Realizing what you do not want is a very effective step in creating what you do want. The trick is to take note of whatever it is that you do not want, and then immediately remove your attention from that perspective and focus your attention on that which you do want. For instance, if you live in a small house and feel crowded, focus your attention on living in a larger house. Dwelling on the house that is too small leads to another thought, which leads to another, and then another, which all serve to reinforce the feeling of being crowded. The law of attraction goes to work and delivers to you exactly what your attention is focused upon: being crowded in a house that is too small. Instead, remove your mental focus from being crowded and visualize what it would feel like to have a spacious home with spacious rooms.
How do you feel, really?
You can't say one thing and think another and secretly feel something else. All of these things must be heading in the same direction for your dream catcher to function properly. What you think and what you say and what you feel must all be on the same team. Your creative center is that place inside where your feelings reside. How do you feel about your dream? Is it right for you? Does it fit? Have you outgrown it? Is it time to revise your dreams to better reflect what you've learned? Your feelings will tell you directly, without the distracting influence of other people's opinions or the barrage of negativity from the media. Do what it takes to feel good first, and your dreams will manifest much quicker. Your thoughts and words and feelings and actions will then be working together to send a very clear picture to the life force about what you want. This alignment makes you a stronger magnet, which attracts your dreams faster. Make it a priority in your life to feel good. Then you'll enjoy the journey toward your dreams. Every day can be a joyous step toward that which you are creating. When you're feeling good right now and anticipating the manifestation of your dreams, your positive attitude and happy feelings shorten the time it takes to make your dreams come true.
Think, feel, then act.
Visualization is the key that brings your dreams toward you. Action is the key that enables you to actually take ownership of them. The only time to act is now. Now's the only time there ever is. It will always be now, so put your complete attention to whatever little detail you are doing now, no matter how insignificant it may seem to be.
Put your action in the proper perspective.
Before you jump into action, pause and ask yourself, what do I really want? And how do I want to feel? You will notice that any desire you can think of will bring you more happiness, more pleasure, and/or more freedom. Chances are that's what you really want: happiness, pleasure, and freedom. When you know that, before jumping into action mode, you can approach it a little differently. Instead of performing your action from a position of lack, you can look forward to the journey, knowing that every step of the way brings into your life more of what you are really wanting. Let's use the example of attracting financial independence. Instead of asking yourself, what should I do? Ask yourself, how would I like to feel? Your answer might go something like this: I would like to feel free. I would like for my time to be my own, so that I can do the things that make me happy and give me pleasure. Okay, the next step is to ask yourself, what would I like to have? Your answer might go something like this: I would like to have some kind of residual income that provides me with the feeling of abundance, and I want to have time for myself and my family. Let your answers to these questions bounce around in your head for a few days before you jump into action mode. By knowing exactly what you want first and why, the ideas that will begin to flow to you will be in line with what you truly want.
Be receptive to the pull of creative action.
Your action will be creative, exciting, and interesting to you because you will realize that it is taking you toward what you most want. The journey will be satisfying, and your days will be full of happy anticipation. Compare this approach to the negative, reactive alternative where you are doing something, anything, all day long because you are tired of being broke. You work yourself into a frenzy, and it seems that the harder you work, the more frustrated you become. This reactive approach makes you feel pushed into action that you really don't want to do, instead of being pulled into the most appropriate action based on the strength of your dreams. It's a subtle distinction, but it can make the difference between days of drudgery and days of joyous becoming. You never enjoy a miserable trip simply with the promise of a glorious destination.
Allow your inner vision to inspire your action.
Most people are caught up in a frenzy of activity, trying to compensate for ineffective thought. There is no way to compensate for ineffective thought, even with ever-increasing activity. There are simply not enough hours in the day. The thought and feeling aspects of creation are far too powerful to ever be compensated by activity alone. Effective thinking is thought focused on what you want, inspired by positive emotion. Ineffective thinking is self-defeating, thought focused on the lack of what you want or on what you don't want. The entire process must be satisfying, or you will simply feel burned out instead of continuously inspired.
Cart before the horse.
Most people have it backwards. They say, I will do such and such so that I may have that which will make me happy. Try turning it around. First, tell yourself, I will be happy because it is the most important thing, and it is my choice. Then, keep your eyes open for situations and opportunities that allow you to have what you want while doing things that add to your feeling of happiness and joy. Therefore, the most important thing for you to know is how you want to feel. Once that is clear, then your action can be guided by that. Your chosen activity will be inspired and satisfying. Your life will be inspired by a deep sense of purpose. You will be inspired on purpose. If your action is a result of your feeling of lack, and if that is your dominant feeling, then all the action in the world will not pull you out of your rut. This kind of action can only create more lack in your life. First, you must believe that there is enough to go around, and that your desire for more freedom and broader experience in your life is appropriate. It is the same basic urge of all life to expand and grow. Therefore, you resolve to yourself that you will keep your eyes open for new opportunities that will allow you to continually feel good and go to the waterfall of abundance with a bigger vessel than you have used in the past.
Re-energize yourself with the big picture.
If you notice yourself bogging down in the little details of your actions, remind yourself of the big picture. If you've dwelled upon the details of your goals and dreams often, as suggested, you won't bog down for long. As soon as you catch even a glimpse of your overall dream, you will automatically shift into high gear and put all your attention and power into whatever activity you are doing now. The more you do this, the more it will seem to happen by itself.
For the good of the whole.
In order to work harmoniously with the life force, your dreams and goals must be good for the whole of life. Remember that it needs you as much as you need it. You need it to help you accomplish whatever you choose. It needs you for ever-expanding life and experience. You are the channel between the visible and the invisible side of nature and the life force.
You are right between the visible realm of matter and the invisible life force, with one foot in each world.
Your goals, therefore, must not be selfish, or you're likely to lose in the long run. Instead, Create your goals in such a way that it will benefit everyone and all of life when you materialize them. In this way, all of life is on your side and working with you. Once again, the best way to help others is to be the most and best of yourself. Be everything that you can be.
Seek to be happy and content within yourself first. If you don't, you have nothing of real value to offer anyone else. So make it a priority to maximize your potential, forever growing into the very best possible version of yourself.
Being creative is more satisfying than being competitive.
This method of realizing your dreams is the creative approach. It is drastically different from the more common competitive approach. The competitive approach is narrow and suffocating. It's stressful, and those that come in contact with it are more likely to have a negative experience when the competitive approach steps on their toes.
Instead, make it your policy to always manifest your dreams in such a way that your associates become wealthier because of their association with you. You do this by making a policy of always giving more in use value than the cash value you receive.
If your dream is to get rich, your associates get rich with you, and all of life cheers you along because it's the positive, creative, expanding approach. We don't need to compete for what has already been created by someone else. Instead, we can create for ourselves whatever we need or want. It won't just suddenly pop out of the invisible and land at your feet with a thud. Your riches will come through the typical channels of business endeavor, but your keen attention will alert you to opportunities that might otherwise be missed. Your activity fueled by the strength of your dreams will drive you on and put you in the position of receiving what you desire and deserve.
You are helping others even when you don't know it.
Always assume that you are progressing and that your dreams are on the way. You are moving forward and getting closer to your goal of financial independence every day. And by becoming financially independent in such a way that benefits the whole, all of life is on your team and shares in your growth.
Many times you will help other people and never even know it. Your attitude and example will inspire others. The life force within them begins to stir when they see it is possible to advance toward their dreams in a creative manner.
If you can grow into the understanding that your desire for financial independence is really nothing other than the life force within you seeking more abundant life, there is nothing that can stop you. This is the creative approach to helping the poor.
If you enjoy the thought of being a philanthropist, by all means give away money and come to the aid of your favorite charities. However, you won't get rich by dwelling on poverty. The way you can be the most help is by your example. Be creative. Others will notice, become inspired, and help themselves. If you want to help the poor, help yourself first. It's like the old story of giving a hungry boy a fish. That's nice. He will eat for a day. But if you can show him how to fish, he can eat for a lifetime.
Do it now. Talk about it later.
As you begin to put these ideas into action, remember the importance of believing in what you are doing. Later, your power base will be so strong and your momentum so great that any little doubts passing by will quickly be brushed aside. But at first, you may be more vulnerable to negative influences. Don't piddle away your power by excessive talking about your dreams and goals. Just keep quiet and do it. Then you can show people what you've done instead of tell them about what you plan to do. We are known by what we do, not by what we say we do. Others may try to discourage you. Often they mean well, but they just can't imagine anyone getting rich. That is what is holding them back. They can't imagine it. Save the talk till after you can demonstrate. It carries more weight, and maybe you can be an inspiration to their habitual negative attitude.
Light their candle with yours.
As you make a habit of assuming success, other people will notice and be drawn to you. Everybody likes to be associated with people on the way up. It makes them feel like they are on the way up too, and they are. Why? Because you have structured your business in such a way that everyone you come in contact with benefits from the transaction. People will literally flock to your business because the creative center and life force that is in you is also in them, and it's also seeking expression for more abundant life through them.
Your interaction can be a catalyst that stirs their imagination and helps them to begin taking responsibility for creating their own dreams.
The limitations of others needn't slow you down.
Why would a person ever choose the negative choice? Why would anyone ever choose poverty over financial independence? Maybe it's deliberately chosen at some deep level to round out their experience, or maybe because he never yet realized the creative center is inside himself and never realized that it's his choice.
Maybe he's the kind that would rather you didn't get rich, so his life doesn't look so bad. He might even try to slow you down and hold you back. Some people feel taller by cutting off other people's heads.
Whatever the reason someone else is currently locked into limitation, that needn't affect you unless you allow it. Their belief system and predominant thoughts are creating their reality, just as your belief system and predominant thoughts are creating yours.
Work on yourself, not others.
Beware of the temptation to hold power over others. Never direct your willpower at another person. All your mental mastery is performed right here at home and does not require trying to influence other people to do your wishes. This is not creative and will eventually backfire on you and do much more harm than good. Instead, grant everyone around you their freedom. Maybe they will learn from your example, or maybe your attitude and feeling of advancement will rub off on them. Maybe by your example they will become acquainted with their own creative center. If not, leave them alone. It's not necessary to try to change anyone, even for their own good, because how could we possibly know what is really best for them? They will eventually learn about how to create for themselves from their own creative center using the life force, and they will do it in their own unique way. If they are slower in learning, don't let it slow you down.
Stumbling blocks or stepping stones?
Constantly reach for your dreams like a tree growing toward the light, but also be flexible like the willow flowing in the breeze.
Be aware that every phase of your plan may not go as smooth and easy as you would like. There are sometimes little surprises that could be mistaken for apparent failures. Don't fall apart and ruin your groundwork by entertaining doubts and negative attitudes.
Look beyond your first impression of the failure for possible unseen benefits. Maybe something better is lurking just beyond the apparent setback. Serendipities are often disguised as setbacks.
You may never have seen it if things had gone just exactly as you had planned. In the long-range scheme of things, this failure might bring your dream into manifestation even faster than you had imagined. Keep your attention on the big picture and keep your attitude positive. Then your setback becomes a lesson, something you can use to propel you toward your dream faster instead of away from it.
The subtle side, step-by-step summary.
In a nutshell, if your dream is to get rich, here's how to approach it from the subtle side.
1. Contemplate the life force as the basic building block of nature and know that it works in and through you. 2. Visualize your dream clearly and allow the invisible life force to bring it toward you through the usual visible channels according to the laws of nature. 3. Take creative action now based upon feeling good and put yourself in the position to take ownership of your dream when the opportunity arises. 4. Feel gratitude as you visualize your dream regularly. This keeps the communication lines open with the life force and brings the object of your visualization to you quicker. 5. Make sure to visualize your dream in such a way that it is for the good of the whole. Then, the power of the universe is on your side and nothing can stop you from reaching your dream. Review this crash course often until these ideas are crystal clear and obvious to you.
The results you get from these techniques will be in direct proportion to the clarity of your visualization,
the joy of your action,
and the depth of your gratitude.
It always works, for better or worse.
The methods outlined here are impersonal laws of nature. They work for better or worse,
whether or not you're aware of them.
They work for better or worse,
whether or not you believe in them. You can compare these laws to the law of gravity. Your feet stick to the ground whether or not you understand how the principle of gravity works, and whether or not you believe in it. It is not necessary to understand the mechanics of it in order to keep from floating off into space. With these techniques, you can create health and wealth, or you can create sickness and poverty. Everyone uses these principles every day, although, unfortunately, most people do it in such a way as to work against themselves. They focus their attention on what they want to avoid instead of what they want to attract, and unknowingly bring sickness and poverty into their lives. You are constantly recreating your life by the thoughts you think. When you focus your attention on something you want, that is deliberate creation. When you let your mind wander and dwell on the things you do not want, this is still creation. It is not deliberate creation, but the laws of nature are still at work, bringing into your life whatever you focus your attention upon. Be aware of where your mind wanders, and be sure you are creating what you want on purpose, instead of what you don't want accidentally. The laws of the universe are going to bring you what you think about, whether or not you really want it. So, your job is to train your mind to dwell upon only that which you truly desire. It's easy to do simply by paying attention to the way you feel. Do you feel bad? Then your current thoughts are moving you away from your heart's desires. Are you feeling good? Then your thoughts are attracting what you desire.
Make sure that your goal is for the good of the whole and not selfish. The power of the universe will be on your side, and the riches you will ultimately gain with these methods will dwarf your original idea of riches. The end? No. If you make these ideas an everyday part of your life, it will be a new beginning.